Hi everyone, it's Miss Debbie with Story Time, and today's story is Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. Let's take a look at the cover. See this little fox right there? His name is Fletcher, and he's the main character of our story today. And now listen, and I will give you a glimpse, which means like a hint, a clue, into the storyline. Okay? And that's what the story's about, the storyline. As the leaves fall from his favorite tree, Fletcher worries that something is terribly wrong. But then winter comes, and with it, a wonderful surprise. I can't wait to see what the surprise is. So, Fletcher and the Falling Leaves was written by Julia Rawlinson, that's our author, and the illustrations, the pictures, were drawn by Tiffany Beek. Oh my goodness. There's Fletcher's favorite tree. Oh, see how green the leaves are? This is Fletcher right here. Hi everybody, my name's Fletcher, and that's his mommy. The world was changing. Each morning when Fletcher bounded out of the den, which is his house, everything seemed just a little bit different. The rich green of the forest was turning to a dusty gold, and the soft, swishing sound of summer was fading to a crinkly whisper. Fletcher's favorite tree started to look dull, dry, and brown. He was beginning to worry. Oh my goodness, so his favorite tree is beginning to change. Oh, can you see those leaves? Oh, see how brown they are and dark, and they're crinkly and crackly. Here's Fletcher. He's looking at his tree, and he's beginning to get worried. I think my tree is sick, said Fletcher. Oh, what's wrong with it? His mother asked. Its leaves are turning brown, said Fletcher. Oh, don't worry, it's only autumn, she said. Autumn is another word for fall. That's the season we're in. Fletcher ran back to his tree and patted the rough bark. Don't worry, it's only autumn, he said. You'll be feeling better soon. So look, he went to, oh, he's saying, don't worry. Don't worry, my favorite little tree. But the tree didn't get better. Each day, more leaves turned brown. One morning, the wind blew, and a soft brown leaf fell. It fell off the branch. Oh, it's losing its leaves. Fletcher jumped up and caught it very gently in his paw. Don't worry, tree. I've got your leaf. I'll fix you. Fletcher looked around, picked a piece of grass, and carefully tied the leaf to the branch. Just then another gust of wind ruffled Fletcher's fur. The little leaf shook itself free and fluttered back to the ground. Fletcher picked it up again and thought very hard. Then he poked the leaf into a twig and pushed it down firmly. Now you hold on tight, said Fletcher, no more flying around. And the little leaf gave a tiny rustle in reply. So he's trying so hard to put that leaf back on his favorite tree. The next day, a strong wind was blowing through the forest. Fletcher rushed out of the den and ran all the way to his tree. Lots of branches were bare, and little lost leaves spun everywhere. Don't worry, tree, I'll catch them for you, I promise. Round and round and round whirled Fletcher after the swirling leaves. See the wind blowing those leaves all around off his favorite tree. The wind is shaking the tree and rattling it, and it's losing leaves. Leaves, wonderful, just what I need for my nest, said a squirrel. But these belong to the tree, said Fletcher. Don't take them away. Oh, the tree doesn't need them anymore, said the squirrel, bounding off. Help! Help! The wind and the squirrel are stealing our leaves, cried Fletcher. Leaves! Terrific! Just what I need to keep warm, said a porcupine, rolling around. But these leaves, they belong to the tree, said Fletcher, plucking leaves from the porcupine's needles. Not anymore, snuffled the porcupine, and away he rolled. Help! Help! The wind, the squirrel, and the porcupine are stealing our leaves, cried Fletcher. Oh, he is upset. He is sad. They're taking the leaves away from his favorite tree. Suddenly, a flock of friendly birds swooped down from the sky. They picked up the leaves in their beaks and poked them into the tree's branches. Soon the tree was leafy again. And Fletcher flopped down and smiled. Thank you, birds, thank you, he gasped as the birds fluttered away. He lay looking up through the leaves at the sky and drifted off to sleep. But the wind continued to blow and the branches still danced. The leaves shivered and shook themselves and began to wiggle free. They tossed and turned and twirled and tumbled to the ground. They brushed Fletcher's ears and nose and filled his dreams with a whispering sound. When Fletcher finally woke up, he couldn't believe his eyes. Instead of a roof of dancing leaves, all he could see were bare branches against the sky. Oh my goodness. Oh, tree, I am so sorry, gulped Fletcher. All of your leaves are gone. But then he saw, high in the branches, one small leaf. Look at that. One leaf, still holding on. I won't let the wind steal that one, said Fletcher, and he began to climb. He crawled along to the last leaf and held it firmly onto its branch. All day long the wind blew, the branch bounced, and Fletcher held tight. I'll stay with you, leaf, he said. Don't worry. Oh, look, he's holding on tightly to that one last leaf. But then, with a sudden whoosh of wind, the branch bowed high. It bounced and whoop, plip, plop, plip, the leaf let go and fluttered like a little flag clutched in Fletcher's paw. Fletcher looked sadly at the leaf he had promised to save. He carried it carefully down and back to his den. He made a cozy little bed for it and gently tucked it in. But all night long he could only think of his tree all on its own. At dawn, Fletcher tiptoed outside. The wind had finally stopped blowing, and the air was cold. The moon still hung in the clear sky, and pale stars glimmered. And as he came to his favorite tree, Fletcher saw the most beautiful thing. Oh my goodness. Fletcher saw a magical sight. The tree was hung with 1,000 icicles, shining silver in the early light. You are more beautiful than ever, whispered Fletcher. But are you all right? A tiny breeze shivered the branches, making a sound like laughter. And in the light of the rising sun, the sparkling branches nodded. Fletcher gave his tree a hug. Then he went back to the den for a nice, warm breakfast. How beautiful his favorite tree is in winter. All right, my friends. How did the tree answer Fletcher when he asked if it was all right at the end? Do you remember? The breeze shivered the branches, and it sounded like laughter. And then the branches sparkled in the sunlight, and they seemed to nod to him. I'm okay. What was hanging from the branches on the tree at the end? Remember what these were called? Where the leaves used to be? That's right. These are icicles. So maybe this winter, if you have some trees that lose their leaves like Fletcher's, maybe someday it'll be cold enough and we'll see icicles on them. I hope you like this book. Again, it was called Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. Bye, this is Miss Debbie. I'll see you soon.
Your local library may have this book available for checkout. Remember to read every day. Happy reading!